Last week at the Agape meeting with Pastor Dunstan Kagwisa.
God is gracious because He is loving. In other words, there is a reason for God being gracious to you. So if I preach grace to you and I do not take you where it comes from, that explains why there are people in this city that still fight the message of grace. In fact, not only in this city, all over the world. They think the grace preachers are the devils that came to torment the church. They see a demon in every grace preacher. And the reason they've not understood grace or appreciate it or welcome it is because they don't know where it comes from. And we hadn't taken time to tell them, why do we tell you God is gracious? There's a reason for God being so gracious. Do you understand? There's a reason for God being so patient, so kind, so good to you. There's a reason. The reason is because He is love, and because He is loving, He is gracious. His love nature is the reason why He is gracious. Once the people understand the revelation of Agape, they will kiss grace every morning, every noontime, every evening, because they will see why God cannot avoid but be gracious. There is a mystery about John's death, so much so that some scholars even say he ascended. It's not proven. But John was boiled in a drum of boiling oil, and John refused to die. That apostle with a love revelation. The guy could not cook. The guy could not boil. The guy could not fry. When they failed to boil him, they exiled him on the island of Patmos. And God said, I've been waiting for you. Even in exile, that's where He gave him the revelation of the book of Revelation. I was in the Spirit on the Lord's day, and I saw. And while he was there, the Lord gave him the book of Revelation. This guy doesn't die. Jesus is not done with him. Instead, He comes and reveals His heart to him, more letters to write, and a message of love, where He finishes by saying, the Spirit and the bride say, come. That is John. John could not be boiled to death. That's the background of the Father, the spiritual Father. So we come to the Son, Polycarp. Polycarp in Smyrna, with a love revelation, something came from this man and rubbed and fell on Polycarp. That's why we teach you fatherhood is very important. They got Polycarp because of his preaching, tied him to a stake. In those days, they were burning the preachers at stake, meaning they tie you to a tree, set you ablaze. They got Polycarp, tied him to a tree, and set him on fire, and the fire refused to burn him. Do you see something about the Son and the Father? Come on, do you see something about the Son and the Father? Are you seeing something about the love revelation here? Are you hearing me? The guy could not burn. He refused to burn. Fire could not kindle on Polycarp. His captors were so frustrated, they had to get daggers and pierce him. That's how he died. Polycarp, fire could not burn him. Just like daddy, like son. What I want you to see, there's something about the love revelation. Are you hearing me? I said there's something about the love revelation. The love revelation is what is going to make you what you never thought you could be. Many of you have destinies that you never thought possible. The greatest experiences of God are in the revelation of this love. When God, listen, when God was showing me this, He told me, son, do you know why they couldn't burn? Do you know why they couldn't boil? He said, because I am love, I don't burn. He said, I am love. As long as John carried my revelation of me, I don't burn, I don't fry. Polycarp, I am love, I don't burn, I don't fry. He told me, do you know why they could stab Polycarp to death? He said, because love allowed to be pierced on the cross in the side. Love can take a stab, but love will not take fire. Is anybody hearing me? Come on, somebody. Come on, somebody. Somebody say, we don't burn. Somebody shout, I don't burn. We are not going anywhere. We fear no threat. We can't be burnt. He said, there are many of you here whose lives have an end you never thought possible. There is an end. God is working in you you never thought possible. He told me there are many in that auditorium when you speak this word whose very life has never been revealed to them, but there's an end. And God told me to tell you this specifically. There are some of you here, so help me God. The Spirit told me there are some of you here who will not see death. I'll say it again. There are some of you here, there's somebody here, you will not see death. You will not enter the grave. There is something God is doing in the family of Agape. I want you to open your heart and receive it. God said, this is the generation, this is the congregation among whom I'm doing the impossible, among whom I'm doing what has never been, among whom the unique and unusual is happening. Are you hearing me? What is happening with you has never happened before. I want you to understand that. What is happening with you? You are children that will not burn. You are children that will drink poison and it will not kill you. You are children that will touch serpents and they cannot hurt you. You are children that are resistant to witchcraft. Are you listening to me?